Hello, everybody. Um, I'm just going to go ahead and start since this is going to play for everyone else who didn't make the live like a normal video. I am, welcome to Chill Baby 5000. I am 39 years old. I recently had a birthday and I just became diagnosed with uh, Asperger's syndrome as being on the spectrum this past year. And but however, my 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 autisticness has been my whole life, and so what I want to talk about today is uh, the idea of maintaining and having friendships. Now, I was inspired to do this video. Who I've her channel is linked in the description, and I'm subscribed to her channel. And she did a video on can people on the spectrum have friendships or something like that. And I've seen other channels try to do this, but hers I think was the first one that I've watched. Um, and she made some really good points and some really enlightening points, but I felt like it was still geared towards, and it might not have been. I would love to see her comment on this, but I felt like it was still geared towards how to have friendships as a neurodiverse person with neurotypical people, so people who aren't on the spectrum. And I just, I'm just hey, it's old school Dave. What's up? Hey, my wonderful YouTube friend. Hello. Uh, but I'm just at a point where I just can't, I'm not willing to do that anymore. I'm not willing to change so much of myself and how I operate in order to make it easier for someone else to like me or be able to hang out with me. So I don't know. I know that might sound pretty cruel, but I don't think of it as a bad thing. You know, we all have different needs, and if my needs don't align with your needs, then that's totally fine. Um, you know, and that just might be my perspective. I'm very used to people coming in and out of my life. It seems very normal. For me, I'm not gonna jive naturally with everybody, and that's okay. Um, uh, and so I thought what I would do is talk about what I think, what I envision as having like a friendship, like what that would be like, and what I think other autistic people might be able to identify with this as well. And if you are on the spectrum, or if you're not, please comment below and let me know if you identify with this kind of version of friendship. Um, so I first noticed this like in high school that I for some reason just couldn't keep friendships. I couldn't maintain close friendships for very long. I would have little spouts where I'd be close friends with like one girl, and then it would like stop. It would just end, and it wasn't like we had a big blowout or anything. I just we just kind of stopped hanging out. And I remember one time it got around to me that the reason why this one girl stopped hanging out with me was because I stopped calling her or something. I didn't call her enough, or I don't know. And that's exactly what I want to address is that my social needs, and I relate this to my needs as an autistic person, um, are limited, and my social ability is limited. This is not. It's not like I'm trying to be standoffish. It's not like I'm trying to be rude or trying to exclude people. It's just that I only have my cup for socializing is only so big. You know, the whole like you fill your cups with love or whatever. My socializing cup is not very big. And even though when I do socialize, I feel very animated. I think I'm kind of like what you would call an extroverted introvert. um, and I seem interested, and I am, and I do care about people in the moment there when I'm talking to them, and all that is true. I just can't guarantee my energy outside of that moment, you know. And I and let me give an example. So lots of people I've noticed like to Like when they think of friendship, they think of someone like, okay, we're going to be friends now. That means I'm going to be a permanent fixture in your everyday life. And that is so stressful for me. For example, like if anybody, it doesn't matter who you are or how close you are to me or how well you know me, if anybody texts me, it's going to take me a lot of effort and a long time to be to reply to you, you know, and I'm trying to figure out how to express myself, trying to figure out what words to use. I'm erasing things, I'm over analyzing things, I'm trying to figure out, why is this person texting me in the first place? Do they just need something? You know, I texting for me can take up, like, you can text me hello and this is going to take like an hour out of my day. You know, I got to stop. I got to focus. And it's just, and it's usually just for menial stuff, you know. It's not important. Like, if you have something important, you know, and you'd rather text than call, like, yeah, that's totally cool if you need to relay information or something. But just to chat, like, I don't understand that, and it's not pleasant for me, and I think that should be okay. You know, like, other people do it to like get juice, I think. You know, they text people and they're just having like little pity conversations through text with a bunch of people, and it's like giving them juice. To me, it wears me out. You know, it doesn't stimulate me. I often come across in ways that I don't mean to. Because I don't know, it's just, it's not something that I can give. You know, I can't be texting you every day. You know, I that's just a lot for me. And I've always been like that. Before texting, it was talking on the phone, on your little cord, landline phone with the cord and all that stuff. And you know, I've been in like long distance relationships before where that did work. Because, like, you know, we hadn't spoken all week, or we haven't spoken for a few days, and we were like each other's person, and we're far away from each other. So we call and catch up. You know, there'd be like a purpose. And that's the other thing. I think it would work better for me and for other people maybe on the spectrum, is if you are friends, if you want and you want to like talk, then just say, hey, do you want to get together and talk? And then I can be doing my things, be doing my routine and stuff, and say, oh, this person would like to get together and talk and hang out. That sounds nice. Let me make room to do that. You know, and so we can schedule and just say, hey, do you want to get together and we can hang out for a little while, and then we can get all of our catch up and our socializing done during that period. But to think that I'm socially on call, like you would be like for work or something, um you know, like 24/7, and that people are going to be upset with me if I'm not as engaged or in this text conversation, or like or I'm awkward on the phone because like we're just sitting there and nothing's happening and I don't know what we're supposed to be saying. I don't know. It's just it's very it's very stressful for me. And I've talked to a lot of neurotypical people who interpret these things as being rude, and I can understand maybe in your world, like, who enjoy that sort of thing, that it would seem rude, like, oh, why is she purposefully, like, you know, not engaging with me? Is something wrong, you know, and is she got an attitude? And it's like, no, this is nothing. There's nothing like that. I'm cool. I want you to be cool. I just It takes so much of my energy and time to connect with you. That's kind of why I personally keep my circle very, very small. It's just all I can handle, you know. I just can't maintain that many relationships at once. And I'm okay with that. And I just don't understand why other people just can't be okay with that. You know, like, I can enjoy you and like you know, when I happen to see you. But if I don't make like a regular effort to be texting you multiple times a week, It doesn't mean that I don't like you any less. You know, it's just my own rhythms and my own um, capacity for socializing. And anyway, I just don't understand why. I don't think we should have to change that about ourselves. If you're like that in general, or if you're on a spectrum, and this is, I feel like this is just more common for people on the spectrum, that their socialness is pretty low. Anyway, Old School Dave says, "Have you adjusted your flour intake since you were diagnosed?" Um, that's a really good question. I have actually. It wasn't. I didn't time it purposefully like that, but therapy has actually been doing. It's been going really well, even though I can't really understand like why. That sounds really funny, but I can tell that it's helping. And we've been working a lot we more on my PTSD, which I was also diagnosed with, than we haven't really discussed much about autism or my diagnosis as being on the spectrum very much yet. Which is fine. You know, there's a lot to digest first and to get out of the way. I have a lot of stuff I needed to go through and overcome and work out in my life. So, um, and it is helping a lot with my anxiety. Uh, my social anxiety is getting so much better because I go to group once a week and I have therapy once a week. And just over the last couple months, being able to have a scheduled outing and practice going to that every week has helped so much with my social anxiety. I used to not be. I've gotten to a habit where I couldn't schedule anything because all I would do until that thing got here was freak out and have anxiety over it. And now I don't do that anymore. And I think it's just because of repetitive practice. And so just little things like that. And so therefore, since I've been less stressed, my flour intake, Old School Dave, has been a lot less since I was using it mainly to help manage my anxiety in the first place. But I actually don't mind. I was smoking a lot and now I don't have to, and that feels really great. Um, so anyway, yeah, it has gone down a lot. Hey, Soko. We have another person, Pissy Nanus. I don't know what that is. Um, I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I have been chilling today and just like cooking all day basically, and just kind of self-caring. And I shouldn't really be on here too long, but I still feel okay. I feel like my anxiety is okay. Sometimes being on lives hypes me up and gets my anxiety, my adrenaline and going a little bit. Um, but anyway, I just kind of wanted to touch base on that because I went through, for anyone who watches this who's new, I went through a huge burnout for accommodating for people uh, my whole life. And then I just got burnt out for multiple reasons. It was the perfect storm. I got all my candle flames burnt out at all the ends at once. And one of them was constantly trying to adapt myself so that I could make other people feel comfortable and so that I could give other people what they need. And that just eventually took all of my life force away. I just got really worn out having to filter myself all the time. And it became anxiety provoking, you know? Um, so, hey, Paulo Piles, nice to have you here too. Um, and so and it's just with this paradigm that Claire in her video, which is what I'm responding to, kind of it inspired this video. It just I don't I don't think I should have to change my needs and my abilities to fit what typically a neurotypical person needs to have a neurotypical type of friendship. I don't think that means that we can't be friends as long as we understand between neurodiverse people and neurotypical people, as long as we just understand from a very practical perspective what we're able to give to each other. And I told a friend once, like, um, it's just think of it as like I only have so much that I can give to others, and I chose to give it to you, you know? And so I'm sorry I only talk to you once a month. But it's not because I'm trying to be a bad friend. It's just all I can give. And so if you're willing to take that, if that's cool with you, you know, because I think they were kind of hurt that I wasn't more involved more frequently. And I was also I'm just going through a lot at the time and trying to like get myself together, and that takes a lot of effort and energy, and so I just had to focus on myself, and it's not too like I have to recover, you know, from I should emphasize that I have to recover usually from socializing. It's very rare that I find a relationship that I don't have to recover from. Um, uh, you know, those are really special. Those are really special, but they don't come by very often. But I do like people. It's not like I hate people. I just I can't uh, meet these neurotypical socializing standards. You know, I just it's painful. It hurts me, and it wears me out. And I mean, it's my headaches are a lot better. I don't have them nearly as often, and they're not nearly as bad. Um, but socializing used to just automatically give me a headache. And but anyway, and that's another thing is that if this is if it's something that doesn't improve my well-being, then it's not fair to ask me to do that, you know, to in order to please someone. You know, if I can't give someone what they need, then you know that we should just be real about that, you know. I can't give you this, so please find a friend who can give you that. I can catch up like once a month, you know. That's what I can give you, and I'd love to do that. You know. And like if we are friends, like yeah, I don't know, does that make sense? Does any of this make sense? I don't know. So Soko says, I've noticed over the course of my life that every few years people transform into totally different people, and that's been a really hard pill to swallow. Um, I wish I could. I have so many thoughts about that, about what you just said, because I feel like I transform. I could probably say that. I feel like I'm constantly transforming all the time, and I can totally get that. I think at the same time, I don't know if I've been around another person long enough to see someone else who also transforms, because not every I don't think everyone does. I know people who have not transformed for years and probably won't ever. And that's totally fine. That's their choice, you know. We all have different roads and different lives, and that's totally cool, you know. The as far as the other people who also kind of transform all the time and caterpillar all the time and grow, um, I don't know if I've known anyone else long enough to be able to like have to adjust. I did have like one long-term relationship that was like 10 years, but we transformed really well together, you know, and maybe that's the key, you know. We were very connected, like our inner selves were very connected, uh, like our core self. And so everything else just seemed kind of superficial. Like it was okay that it changed. It was okay that our bodies changed over 10 years back and forth, and that our interests changed and things like that, because like our, I don't know. I don't know how to find what to say to find someone like I don't know how to explain that, you know? So if you can find how, that someone is someone that you can transform well with. Uh, it's not a bad thing, but in some cases it has been. Yeah. Yeah. It's not a bad thing. In some cases it is, some cases it's not. Um, but anyway, it has already been 20 minutes. These lives go by so fast. And so since yesterday I had therapy and tomorrow I have group. Listen to me. And so I'm going to go ahead and get off so I can keep my adrenaline down. And this is my relaxed day. And I just want to get on here and say that. And I hope this connects with some people and kind of helps bring understanding to those who aren't like this, you know, and then gives like empowerment to people who do have different social abilities and social needs. That I mean, if you are like that, then chances are you have trouble finding friends anyway, you know. So just, you know, don't feel like you have to change yourself. You know, wait until you just be upfront about what you can give, and wait until you find someone who either like is totally cool with what you can give in a friendship and respects what you can receive in a friendship, or just find someone who's like you like that. And I know it's easy to say, you know, and hard to deal with because it does suck feeling really, you can feel really alone. Being a person who operates this way, since it does feel like that most people aren't like this. Most people are very community oriented, very socially oriented, and I finally come to realize that I'm not. You know, there have been different times in my life where I've been better or worse at socializing, but all in all. I think I'm like a task oriented person. I'm a learning oriented person. And that's okay too. You know, as a psychologist, a famous lecturing psychologist who I like to watch, Tony Atwood, Dr. Tony Atwood said once that, so you found something more interesting than socializing. That's what he said about being on the spectrum. He's like, that's totally fine. That's cool. The only issue is just getting the rest of the world to understand that and to not to take offense to that. And I totally think that's true. Anyway, so I hope everyone is doing good, and good luck with your friendships. And I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.